Today we're going to be watching and analyzing an intense game between me and my viewers where I play or beat sheep and I get locked out of largest army. And I'm going to show you how to navigate this position. So I'm the first to place in the first position. Now I want you to pause the video immediately. Let's take a quiz. Where would you place on this board in the first position? Take your time. I think it's a pretty straightforward choice. It's the 6-4-11. You get the double OR with double 3-1 ports. It allows you to play a classic or wheat sheep setup where you can buy a lot of development cards, get cities, and you're close to ports. So you don't have to worry about that. Worst case scenario, you end up on an outer coastal wheat spot, such as the 8-3, 8-10, or maybe one of the central wheat spots, such as the 4-9-2, 4-11, or 3-9-11. That's what I think my settlement outs are going to be. Then it's red's turn. Red goes ahead and drops a settlement onto the 5-9-10. While the 5-9-10 isn't a bad standalone spot, and it goes well with a lot of spots, such as the 6-4-3, 8-4-3, and potentially the other 5-9-10, the problem is, all of those spots are highly likely to be taken. And well, let's see what happens. Black in the third position takes a 5-6-11. I actually don't like this pick. I think a better pick is actually the 6-4-3 because you have two strong wheat sheep spots, the 5-9-10 and the 5-6-11. It allows you to play a strong or wheat sheep setup which wins you the game. So, blue in the fourth position decides to do that, take a strong or wheat sheep setup, and takes 5-9-10 and the 6-4-3. And he takes a 6-4-3 second to start off with the free road. Then, it's black's turn, and he takes the 8-4-3, giving him brick to pair with the wood and ore to pair with the wheat. Black also has a decent setup. However, as black, I think I'd much rather have the 6 ore over the 4 ore that's going to be shared and be blocked. Then, it gets back to red at second position. And they're in a pretty tough spot. Where the heck do you take as red? And well, you can avoid this entire situation if you just didn't take the 5-9-10 as a second pick. Red decides to go on the top 8-10, and red's gonna be having a lot of wood, brick, and wheat. However, the problem with red's setup is that you're only on 3 out of the 5 resources, which is not super good. I think in red's position, it's gonna be critical for them to get on the 3-1 port as soon as possible. Now it's my turn, and I have the middle open for me. I have the 2-4-9, 4-9-11, or 3-9-11. What's the best play here? I decided to take the 4-9-11 and lock the center. I could take the 2-4-9 and point right to open up the 3-9-11 for me to expand to, and the 4-11. But I decided to lock the board and go the 4-9-11. The reason why I decided to do this, because I wasn't super confident I could actually build onto the 3-9-11, because I'm only at 3 points of wood and no brick. And on this board, I think brick is a lot more valuable than wood. However, the idea I wish I considered more is taking the 2-4-9, opening up the 3-9-11, and pointing it downwards onto the 5-2. And the reason for this is because if I can get brick, it makes it so my wood is useful. With that said, I dropped my settlement on the 4-9-11, and I start off the game by rolling a 7. If you're a Catan veteran, you may want to enter tournaments or play some expansions. Colonist.io is a site where all that happens, where you can play free online Catan with friends or strangers. First, to enter tournaments, go on Colonist.io, then click on the top left to check out their ongoing tournaments. About Catan expansions, you may have heard of Cities and Knights. Colonist.io just recently released the online expansion called Cities and Knights for just $20, and like a board game, only one person needs to own it in order for everyone to play. Colonist.io also has other expansions such as Seafarers and the 5-6 player expansion, but Cities and Knights is my favorite as it adds so much to the game. To get Cities and Knights, all you have to do is go on Colonist.io and press the store at the bottom. Then, go to the top right and click Purchase Colonist Coins here. Redeem it under expansions and you have it. Anyways, that's it for me. Now at the very beginning of the game, you're able to precisely tell what exactly everyone has. Well, because you know what resources they started with. So I know what everyone has. I decided to put it on the 5 wheat and steal from black because he has a lot of cards that I want. He has a brick which I don't produce, and he has ore which is useful for me in order to build cities. So it's a 2 out of 3 chance I get a card that I want. So I steal from black and I end up getting the sheep, which is the last card I need. I'm also stealing from black because we're in a race for the 3-1 port on the 4 ore. I don't have very many expansion spots, which is why I want to build on the 4 ore. I have the 4 ore, 11 ore, and then I have to use 2 roads and a settlement to build anywhere. Then on red's turn, they roll a 7 and they put it on the 6 sheep and they steal from black. They steal the brick from black and then they drop a road towards the 8-3. As red, I think I probably would have dropped the road to the 3-1 port first because I think it's pretty vital because they have too much wheat in their hand. Then the 8 rolls, it's back to my turn and I roll another 7. Here. Yeah, same thing, man. You willing to trade the brick at all? Since you got brick and ore, which both stuff I want. Sure. Okay. I think I'm gonna ask for the ore first. For Jack from blue, then. All right. I forced black to trade the ore with me, and I decided to give them a wood for an ore. And although the wood is rare for them and lets them build a road, I think I'm better off not contesting them to that spot. And I also want to give away wood because my hand is going to be clogged with a lot of wood because I have no brick access, which is why I'm trying to get rid of it. I also want to steal from blue here because his last card was an ore. So on this turn, by rolling a 7, I was able to get 2 ore through extortion and stealing. I have 5 cards. I decided to end my turn and hold for a city because I have multiple rolls that can give me the city, such as 11 and the 9 rolling or the 9 and the 4 rolling. Red rolls a 8, then they end the turn. Then black rolls a 5, then they end the turn. Then a 9 rolls. Now it's my turn and I roll an 8. On my turn, I could buy a dev card. But in general, I think it's better to get cities first, then start buying development cards. So I talk to black and offer them a sheep. I tell them, hey, if you give me the sheep for brick, I will not race you to the 4 ore and I'll go somewhere else instead. He says yes to the deal and I drop my road to the 11 ore and end my turn. On red's turn, a 5 rolls and they end the turn. Then it's black's turn. He's searching for an ore so he can buy a development card. I tell black if he doesn't block me, I'll trade away my ore. I'd much rather swap cards than lose a card. So I give him the ore, allow him to buy a development card, and he trades me a brick, which is a rare card for me anyways. With that, black buys a dev card and ends his turn. Then it's my turn. I roll a 4. There's no trades here to do since there's no sheep and there's no ore, so I decide to pass. On red's turn, they roll a 9, and they have 8 cards. They decide to do a 4 for 1, 4 wheat for 1 sheep, and they decide to pass their turn. Red's hand is going to be stuck very often. They have a very tough game ahead of them. On black's turn, he offers a wood for wheat and goes ahead and trades with red, and with that, he buys a dev card. And then on blue's turn, he rolls a 6, which brings me to 8 cards, which puts me in danger of getting 7'd out. Then it's my turn, and I roll a 7 and have to lose half my hand. Ouch. What a bad time to 7 out. I have a great hand and I'm forced to get rid of half of it. Now, I have a choice to make. Do I get rid of 2 wheat and 2 ore, which is basically a city, in order to keep the settlement? Or do I dump an entire settlement in hopes of getting a city? I decide to dump a settlement because I know one of blue's cards is an ore. And in general, if I can get a city, that's great. And cities are generally better than settlements. Yo, Blue, you willing to trade the ore at all?
No.
Just Jack? Alright, cool. Blue says no to my offer to not steal from him. So I decide to go fishing for the ore, and I miss and get the wood instead. I just had a great hand and it reduced to nothing very quickly. Man, what a disgusting turn. So, I made a lot of mistakes on that turn, and let's talk about that. First of all, let's rewind a bit. Let's go back to blue's turn. At blue's turn, he rolled a 6, which put me over 8 cards, and it could have done a lot of things here. There's a concept that hasn't been talked about that I call insurance. So what insurance means is that currently I'm at 8 cards, and if a 7 rolls, I lose half of it. But if I give someone 2 cards, it'll bring me to 7 cards, so if a 7 rolls, I won't lose half my hand. On blue's turn, I can offer him 2 cards just to bring myself under 8 cards to make sure I have an actionable hand. In fact, if you look at blue's hand, they have a wood, sheep, and an ore. That means they only need a brick and a wheat to build a settlement. So on blue's turn, I should have talked to him and say like, hey blue, you want a settlement? I can give you a brick and a wheat. And his only card he can offer me is an ore. So if I give him a brick and a wheat for an ore, he gets a settlement and I get a guaranteed city and I won't lose half my hand. Another creative idea is giving blue a free card. Now in the Catan rules, it states you can never give a 1 for 0 trade. So what I mean by that is I can't hand someone a wood for free. However, you can get around that rule by giving a 2 for 1, then a 1 for 1 trade. Here's an example. Hey blue, do you want a wheat for free since it brings me to 7 cards when I'm at 8? And blue will most likely say yes because, well, it's a free card. I'll take a free card in blue's position too. So how we proceed is I give blue 2 wheat for a sheep, then I give a sheep for 1 wheat. And that way the net trade is a 1 for 0 trade. So you're not allowed to give 1 for 0 trades, but you can do a 2 for 1, then a 1 for 1. And that way it'll avoid me from getting 7'd out. Another mistake I made was instead of going for the 1 in 3 city and trying to steal the ore from blue, I think I should have just gotten rid of 2 wheat and 2 ore, as bad as that sounds, and keep the settlement instead. And the reason for that is to make sure I have an actionable turn and I'm doing something every single turn. If you look at my setup, getting on a port is pretty important. And the reason for that is because I have a lot of uncoordinated production. So whenever a 4 rolls, I get wood and ore, and whenever an 11 rolls, I get wood and ore also. The problem with this is wood and ore don't mix well together. And because of that, I'm gonna need a 3 for 1 port to be porting away the wood. So I know I just talked a lot, but that's actually a very critical turn in the game. This game has a lot of depth that people just don't see. On red's turn, they roll an 8 and they drop a settlement onto the 8-3. I still think the 3 to 1 port is better for red because they're gonna be having an influx of wheat, since they have a lot of wheat. Then on black's turn, he rolls a 7 and he moves a rubber onto the 10 wood and double steals from blue. Then he offers a wood for a brick trade. I say yes to this trade because I don't produce any brick. Then a 4 rolls on blue's turn, giving me the last ore I need for a city. With that, I drop a city onto the 6-4-11 and I end my turn. On red's turn, they roll a 9. Then it's black's turn and he rolls a 4. Then it's blue's turn and he rolls a 2. He's searching for wheat to build on the 6-2 and offers a wood and a sheep. Red snaps yes to this deal because red's hand is full of wheat. Then on my turn, I roll a 4. Now, I'm super close to doing a lot with my hand, but right now, I don't have anything. The last thing I want to do is 4 for 1 all my ore for a single sheep. That's pretty nasty. So, I'm going to be searching for a sheep or a wheat. Yo, Red, what if I do this trade with you right now, and then I'll give you my next future sheep since I'm on the 6 for 1. So, wood and ore for the sheep, and then whenever the 6 rolls, I'll just give it to you. The first time I get it.
The first time you get a sheep?
Yeah. 1 for 1 for anything.
Okay.
Okay, that saves me the... Oh, thank God. I really don't want to do 4 for 1 out ore. It's pretty disgusting right there. I think going here is fine. And, red featured sheep. That's a pretty good trade for red. That's a pretty good trade for red, I think. So I get a little creative and decide to offer that future trade deal with red. The reason why I'm willing to offer that is because whenever the 6 rolls, I get 2 sheep anyways. So I'll give 1 to red, and then I get to keep 1 sheep myself. So it's not that bad to give a sheep to red. The other thing I could have done was simply search for a wheat, because that gives me, well, a second city, which is also great. But I wanted a port in that situation because I have a lot of uncoordinated production once again. I get a lot of extra wood whenever my ore rolls, which is going to clog my hand, and I need a 3-to-1 port in order to unclog my hand. So on red's turn, they drop a road and they end the turn. Then it's black's turn, and he rolls another 4. He's offering ore, searching for wheat, and he goes ahead and trades with red, and gives red a brick and an ore for a wheat. With that, he buys a development card. That's a great trade for red. Earlier, I said wheat wasn't super tradable, but if the 5 wheat is blocked and it doesn't roll, well, people are going to be looking for wheat, which makes red's wheat super tradable. So red's going to be wanting to block that 5 wheat very, very often. Then it's blue's turn.
The problem is that this guy has a bunch of Ds and I have no Ds in this spot. So I'm winning production, but I've got no Ds. Right? I think blocking this is pretty reasonable. Blocking this is also pretty reasonable too. Yo, blue, you wanna put on the 4 ore and I'll give you an ore? Just don't jack from me, jack from black. Since I know I'm winning in production, right? It's obvious because I do have a city. But black is like 4 Ds up on me. It's just 3 down and 1 knight. Up to you.
What you give me if you do that?
An ore for whatever.
Okay.
So with that deal going down, I do an ore for wood. And it sucks giving away ore, but I'd rather not get robbed. I also get a 3rd wood, which is useful since now I can port it to whatever card I want and decrease my hand size. Then I roll a 7 and I put it on the 5 wheat and steal from black. Even though black is only at 2 points and they only built a road, the thing is black is 4 dev cards up on me in terms of the largest army race. They have 3 down dev cards and 1 knight played already, while I have 0. It's going to be very difficult to fight for longest road long term this game, so I think the only way it can win is through largest army, and black is my biggest competitor, which is why I decided to steal from them. I decided to offer ore for wheat targeting red, and red says yes to this. It gives me another city on the 4 and 11. Now I'm in a strong position. However, the reason why red did that, because I'm getting them very close to the city. Then, on red's turn, they roll a 7, and they're looking for wheat.
Got enough ore. I need wheat.
Okay. I don't have wheat, but...
Oh shit, the time is running out. I don't know who has wheat, so I'm just gonna...
No wheat here. Just go
Black
for
might have one? I got the brick if you want it. Gotta tell them your cards so they can't jack you.
A lot of the times, you do want to tell your opponents what you have in your hand, so you don't get robbed. In this situation, was one of them. I intentionally told red my card, knowing that they are searching for ore, so I don't get robbed. A lot of people will rob from someone because they're searching for a card, but if you simply tell them, oh, it's only a 1 in 7 chance you get it, or if I don't have it, well, there's a strong chance you won't get robbed. So in situations like these, it's definitely worth it to sometimes tell your opponents what you have in your hand. With that, black plays a knight and moves it onto the 11 ore and steals from me. Black rolls a 9, then blue rolls a 7 and puts a robber onto the 6 sheep, then steals from me and buys a development card. I roll a 6 on my turn and ouch, that 6 sheep is blocked and I can't give red that future sheep that I owe her. One of the weaknesses of future trade deals is you don't know when you're actually going to be able to get them. Even though I said I'm going to give red a sheep as soon as I get it, it's not actually guaranteed a 6 sheep will roll. The problem is it might not roll and the spot might be blocked. And then on red's turn, they roll a 7 and they put it on the 11 ore and steal my wheat. With that, they drop a city on the 5, 9, 10. That's a strong city spot, but red is going to suffer from a concept known as overproduction. It's whenever you produce too many cards and you don't have the right ratios or you don't have a port in order to handle those amount of cards. If you suffer from overproduction, what's going to happen is you're going to have big bloated hands and be forced to do 4 for 1s or 7 out a lot. On black's turn, he plays a knight and puts a robber onto the 11 ore, but I think that's a pretty big mistake. I think black should have put the robber onto the 9 wheat instead. The problem with putting it on the 11 ore is that I have 0 cards, so you don't get a card at all. I think a stronger block would be putting it on the 9 wheat where you can steal from red and at least get a card. And you block my only wheat supply. But with that move, black takes the largest army. Then they roll an 8. Blue rolls a 7 themselves and puts it back onto the 6 sheep and steals from black. It's my turn and I roll a 7. I decide to put it on the 5 wheat and steal from black. And the reason for that, because he's way ahead of me in the largest army race, and because I think he has an ore. With that, I steal from black and I'm able to get an ore. Then, on red's turn, they roll a 4. So, red offers me a wheat, wanting a wood. Pause the video and ask yourself, would you take this trade, yes or no? Why? Also, feel free to comment below. I always love hearing what you guys have to say down in the comments below. Yes, I would love to take this trade. Although it doesn't do anything for my hand right now, it doesn't do anything for red's hand either. And just because it doesn't do anything for me right now, doesn't mean it can't do something for me later. The thing is, with this 1-for-1 trade, it makes my future rolls actionable. So what do I mean by that? Well, if a 4 rolls, it lets me buy a development card with the wood, and it's the same with the 11. Also, if a 6 rolls, I'm able to buy a development card with the sheep. So yes, I would take that trade, because it sets my hand up to be actionable in the future. On black's turn, he moves it onto the 10 wood and takes from red. I think as black, I probably would have blocked the 9 wheat. I think it's a much better block. So far, if I was playing as black, I would get a city first, and then I'd start buying a lot of development cards. And then I also would adjust some of the blocks that black have done and block the 6 ore and the 9 wheat, since you want to be blocking ore and wheat in general. Then it's blue's turn. He rolls a 12, and then he drops 2 roads towards the wheat port on the 9-12. And now it's my turn. I roll a 10. I know that there's not any reasonable wheat or sheep trades I can trade for, so I decide just to pass. On red's turn, they roll a 7, and they put it on the 5 wheat and decide to steal from blue. I think the reason why red stole from blue, because blue and red might end up competing in the long term for longest road, because blue can connect around the desert, and red just produces massive amounts of wood and brick. The problem with my setup, even though it looks really good, is the fact that black already has largest army and he has 4 knights down. And that means in order for me to take largest army from black, I need 5 knights, which is 5 sheep, 5 wheat, and 5 ore. So my win condition is already very hard for me to get, which is why I think I'm not getting robbed in this position. Then on blue's turn, he plays a knight and puts it onto the 6 sheep, then robs from me, and takes that 1 wheat I had in my hand. And then blue rolls a 6, denying me from that sheep. On my turn, I roll a 7 and move the robber right back onto the 5 wheat.
Actually, I think doing this jacking from blue is fine. Jack is ore. Yeah, that's fine. I take his ore. Because if I can hold him back from a city, that's pretty nice for me.
So it's red's turn, and they offer 2 cards wanting an ore. So once again, I ask you, pause the video. Would you take this trade? Yes or no? And if you want, comment below. The answer here is no. Do not take this trade. 1, it puts you over 7 cards, so now you're vulnerable to the robber. 2, if you're tracking, it gives red a perfect city. Red's hand is 1 brick, 3 wheat, and 2 ore. And 3, what does this do for your hand? It doesn't do anything except for give you a road, and that road is virtually useless. Do not trade someone a city for a road. This is an example of a horrible trade, even if you are getting 2 cards. On black's turn, they roll an 8. Then it's blue's turn, and they roll a 7, and puts it onto the 9 wheat and takes from red. With that, blue drops a settlement onto the 9-12. On my turn, I roll a 9. So with this hand, it seems like there's not much I could do. Well, except for dropping a city on the 11 ore. So pretty simple, just do it, right? No, the problem with dropping a city on the 11 ore is basically useless. You're spending 5 cards to get 2 extra points of production, and it's not a worth it investment. While it does get you closer to 10 points, it doesn't actually do anything for you. Instead, let's try to trade my hand for development cards. Even though black is very ahead of me on the largest army race, there's still some development cards that can change the game, such as double road building, or monopolies, or even victory points. Or if I do get knights, maybe I should put up a fight against black and try to race for largest army.
Blue, you want some ore here?
What do you want for it?
Ore for sheep, or what else do you got? You got wood? 2 ore,
I'll do that.
2, I got a 3 for 1 port, so I think I'll do this, or I just port it. It's cool though. And it puts you like pretty close to the city, right?
I want to or 1 for 1. Sorry, you'll have to port it.
Okay, what about 3 for 2? This is the best I can do. Otherwise, I just port it. Doesn't matter.
So let's quickly talk about negotiation and table talk. Now, if you ever noticed, I never really give tips on how to table talk / negotiate, since it feels a little bit weird to teach the internet how to behave in this inherently social game. But with that said, I still want to break down and analyze this negotiation. And first, I say,
Yo, Blue, you want some ore here?
and that's a rhetorical question. I know he wants ore, because I'm tracking, and I know he needs to build a city. And I want him to start out the deal by saying, yes, I want your ore, rather than me starting the deal of, hey, do you have any sheep to trade, Blue? Because that gives me more power if he's wanting something from me. So then I say to Blue,
I got a 3 for 1 port, so I think I'll do this, or I just port it. It's cool though.
and what this does is that it adds pressure on Blue, because if he doesn't trade with me now, it's gonna disappear. So once again, saying this line puts me in a position of power. So then I say to Blue,
and it puts you like pretty close to the city, right?
so by stating out loud the inherent value it is for Blue, a city, it puts more power in my hands, because I know what I'm giving him is a pretty strong trade. I know the value of the cards, and I know the value it is to him. And the last piece of dialogue I say is,
Okay, what about 3 for 2? This is the best I can do. Otherwise, I just port it. Doesn't matter.
giving him an ultimatum, yes or no. And if you say no, I don't need you anyways, I can be porting the ore. So this is what I mean when I say sometimes in Catan, every single word you say matters, since it matters a lot. There's a lot more to this game than most people think.
Red, I owe you a sheep. I owe you a sheep. I forgot. I was about to spend it again. What do you want for the sheep?
I've only got weight right now, so.
Do you still want it?
Yeah, we can wait if you want. I don't really need
The
it
problem
right
is
now.
I'm going to spend it this turn.
You can spend it, but.
Are you
but,
sure?
I mean, the next one. if you
Okay, the
want.
next one. Are you sure?
Yeah, I can't use it right now. So.
No, just break my dev card. That's the better play. Break my dev card. That's the better play. Oh, God.
Yeah, I really think Red should have just taken my sheep, because you don't know the next time I'm gonna get a sheep, and you break a development card out of my hand. I really wanted Red to take the sheep because it's just a good play for her. So with the dev cards I got a knight and a monopoly. That monopoly is huge and is a big game changer. Black rolls a 5, then ends his turn. Then Blue rolls a 5 themselves and they drop a city on the 5, 9, 10. On my turn, I play a knight before I roll and decide to block the 5 wheat.
I probably get a wheat here. Probably get a wheat and a jack this. But I think blocking the wheat is just overall a better idea. He's winning. Get the wheat. It's beautiful. She still needs the sheep. This is why she needed to get the sheep last turn. Like I said, are you sure? She said no. I'm like, take it, please take it. You need to break my dev card. It's cool though. It's cool. Okay. You need a 3-1 port, girl. Because you're forced to 4-1 for a sheep here. That's why I should have taken the sheep trade.
I'll just put these out anyway.
Ooh, the wheat for wood. Oh, I do both
Yeah,
actually.
12 cards. I'll do it for 2 cards, but not for 1.
What about like this?
Is he saying yeah?
Are you
what
saying you
about-
want to break in it? Wait.
I'm just countering 1 for 1. You can just have it.
Okay, thank you.
That's a pretty good trade. 10. This is a good chunk of wood.
There's the wood.
That's a good chunk of wood on the board. He's forced to 4 for 1 here, which is pretty nasty. Is he 4 for 1 for a sheep and another dev?
So, it's my turn, and I roll a 3. Now, I have a Monopoly in hand. The question is, do I play it? If you look at the right resource box, the wood is at 1 question mark. What this means is that there's a low amount of wood within the bank, which means there's a high amount of wood in other people's hands. So, I ask you, would you Monopoly wood here? Yes or no? Go ahead and comment down below. I'm curious. I decide to Monopoly the wood, and I only get 9 wood. With this hand that's full of wood, I'm actually able to drop a road and a settlement to the 4 ore. However, should I do that? In this position, I have a strong incentive to do so. And the reason for this is because I'm running out of cheap settlement spots where you can drop a quick road in a settlement. The problem with my setup is that largest army is already super far away and I might need to build to 10 points. And if I need to build to 10 points, it means I need every single settlement possible. However, in order for me to cut black off, I recognize it's very, very expensive. I have to do a lot of porting in order to do so. So I make a deal with black. I won't build on the 4 ore if he promises 1 non-block, which basically means he won't put the robber on me the next time he rolls a 7 or he plays a knight card. He says yes to this deal, and with that said, I spend my entire hand buying 3 development cards.
Let's just go and buy D's. Smash D's. Smash D's. Buy another D here. Don't think that was super good Monopoly. You have plenty here.
I don't think that was a good Monopoly at all. Now you're probably thinking, wait, you got 3 dev cards with that Monopoly. How was that a bad Monopoly? Well, here's why. I think I can get an even juicier and fatter Monopoly if I hold and am patient. The thing is, red is on a lot of wheat, and I have early positioning on red, which means I go right before red, which means there's going to be more dice rolls available where I can Monopoly a lot of cards from red. The other reason why I didn't like my Monopoly was because my hand before was already pretty good. I can buy 2 dev cards with my original hand anyways. So you can argue that all my Monopoly did was allow me to buy 1 more D card, and that's really not worth it. And in general, if you can Monopoly wheat or ore, that's really strong. It prevents your opponents from buying cities, or if you can Monopoly with a specialized port. So for example, if you're in the sheep port and you Monopoly a bunch of sheep. So for those reasons, I really don't like how I played the Monopoly that turn. I think it was a bad Monopoly, even if I got 9 cards. On red's turn, they drop a road towards the 8-10. Then on black's turn, they roll a 5 and they buy 2 development cards themselves and end the turn. Then blue rolls a 2 and they get a wheat. Then it's my turn. I roll a 7 and red is forced to give up half their cards. If you notice, red is 7ing out a lot, and that's because they're suffering from overproduction. They have too much production without a port, and they're not able to process their cards. This is the problem of overproduction. You need to be able to process your cards either through a port or having good resource ratios. I decide to block red on the 8 wheat, because if they're able to take longest road, which they're only 2 roads away from doing so, they're at 8 points. And then they have a settlement spot open on the 8-10, and then that's 9 points right there. So red is actually pretty close to winning. On red's turn, they roll a 5, then on black's turn, they roll a 5, and then end of the turn. And then on blue's turn, he rolls a 5, but they don't end the turn. They end up porting 6 wheat for 3 ore, and they're able to buy a city. Now blue is looking mighty strong. On my turn, I roll a 6. With that, I finally have sheep in hand. Now, even though I really want to spend the sheep, I owe 1 to red. So with that said, I give a sheep to red for a break. It really sucks to do so because red has such a massive hand. Then on red's turn, they roll another 5, getting them even more break. With that, they do a 3 for 1 for a wood and drop a settlement onto the 8-10. Then red does a double 3 for 1 for 2 wood and they drop 2 roads towards the 5-2 and takes longest road. Now, red is at 9 points. If they're able to drop a single settlement, they win the game. However, I think red made a critical mistake right there. Instead of dropping the roads from the bottom side of the 5 brick, I think red should have dropped the roads from the top side. What this does is that it disallows me from building to the 5-2, although blue can still cut you off to the 5-2 no matter what. The problem with leaving 2 hanging roads like that with red, well, red is at 9 points. You're not giving the table a choice. We have to cut you off and take your settlement spot away. It's not a choice, because if we don't, well, you win the game. On black's turn, they roll a 6 and they do a 4 for 1 for a wood and drop a settlement onto the 4 ore. Black is seriously lacking behind in production. I really wouldn't have bought dev cards first, but rather gone for a city. Then, black plays a knight and moves the robber onto the 5 brick and takes from red. It's blue's turn and he rolls an 8. A discussion ensues. We need to cut off red and we need to cut her off now.
Yeah, I have to plow to 5-2 here. I have to. I have a year plenty and I can try to do 2 roads to the 5-2. Cut off the settlement spot. How much wood do you have?
0.
Yeah, we're pretty fucked. Right now, let's just roll first. Just do your turn, but I need to roll first. I need another brick, I need wheat, and I need more wood. But I do have a year plenty to help me to do that. You got a brick? Okay. 6, okay. Oh, shoot. Oh, man. Actually, last turn, what I should have done, I should have talked to you, and I should have made you port my sheep for me. That's smarter. Whatever.
Oh, that's smart.
I need the brick here. So I need this, and then since Black's saying yes to this. Okay, and I can port my 3-to-1 my sheep. You guys gonna have to seriously feed me here. You guys don't have any wood, right? No one has wood.
Nope.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and do this first. It sucks I'm year planning for this, but I'll drop the 2 reds. My hand now is 4 sheep and 2 ore. Does anyone have any wheat at all? I can do ore for wheat, and then this lets me port the rest of my cards for the settle. Okay. Alright. That's pretty disgusting. I'm sorry.
So, the table is able to trade and help me build onto the 5-2, cutting off red. This is a very important and necessary play, because if we don't do that, well, red wins the game. Also, it's a very important play for me, because I'm able to get another settlement spot. And in my position, I have to build 2 roads for a single settlement spot, rather than the traditional 1 road, 1 settlement, triangle road formation. Essentially, my settlements are very expensive, and it's going to be hard for me to build to 10 points without enough settlement spots. So it's amazing for me in this position that I'm able to 1, stop red, and 2, get a settlement spot for later. If you think about my win condition and how I'm able to win this game, well, with largest army locked, it means I need victory points. In this position, when you're the ore wheat sheep player and you only have 1 expansion spot available, well, if you upgrade all of them, you'll be at 6 points. Then, you need 4 victory points in order to reach 10. But, if you're able to get 2 expansion spots like me, the 11 ore and the 5-2, and you're able to upgrade all those spots, now, you only need 2 victory points. The difference between getting 2 victory points and 4 victory points is massive, because there's only 5 victory points inside the deck. And getting 4 out of all 5 is very difficult. So, as an ore wheat sheep player, it's very important to be able to secure 2 expansion spots. So for me, it's 1, the 11 ore, and 2, the 5-2. Keep in mind, if red simply dropped those 2 roads upwards, none of this would have happened. This is a very subtle, yet critical mistake. Then, on red's turn, they roll a 10, and they get 5 wood. They port their wood for a brick, and they drop 2 roads towards a wheat port.
Now someone has to take red here. Someone has to take red.
Well, the dream of connecting is not dead.
I don't know.
Red is at 9 points and at 8 cards. There's nothing we can do to take away their settlement spot. So what else can we do? What else can we take away? Well, we can take away longest red.
I need 1 brick to connect.
You need 1 brick?
Can anyone help me?
I don't have brick in hand. I don't bullet black. Can you do anything?
I
What about using the sheep? Does anyone have sheep that we can give to you? Okay, yeah, give a sheep so he can connect.
use all my cards to get to connect.
But
I'm not cheesing.
yeah, connect first. Connect first. That's what I'm saying. Connect first. Black. Okay. Since what we want to do is, if we're getting blue to 9 points, we want to make him use every single one of his cards. Okay. That's good to see.
It's my turn now, and I'm at 7 points. I play the knight before I roll and put the robber on the 6 ore, because now, with blue taking longest road, he's at 9 points. Now, if a 6 or 5 rolls, or a 6 and a 9 rolls, that gives blue a city for 10 points. So, I block the 6 ore, then I roll an 11. Although this is a good roll, I still can't do anything with this hand, and it's way too late in the game to be porting and playing inefficiently. So, I decide to hold my breath, and hold and pass my turn. On red's turn, they roll a 5. They'll drop a settlement onto the 8 wheat and the Bodal road, with the intention to take longest road. Now, red is at 8 points. If they're able to take the longest road, they win the game. But if blue is able to build 1 city or draw 1 victory point, then they win the game also. On black's turn, he rolls a 5, giving red bricks to take longest road, and giving blue wheat in order to build a city. On blue's turn, he rolls an 8, giving red another brick and 4 wheat, and now they're on the 3-1 port. If red rolls a 10 in the next 2 rolls, then they're going to be able to take the longest road and win the game. So I talk with blue. An intense discussion starts.
Blue, yeah, I need you to extend, but the problem is you extending gives you like settlements for the points. I can give you a road for 2 wheat if you want. Since the 5 then the 8 rolled, right? So if a single 10, she just wins with red. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Wait. Don't end your turn. Let me think if you need another road or not. So a 5 rolled, an 8 rolled. So she has 6 brick, 7 brick, 3 wheat. If she has 7 brick, 3 wheat, does a 10 win the game?
Yes.
5 roads.
Yeah. Good, right?
Red, next time don't tell us that, since... just to win the game. Just win the game. All right, Blue. I'm gonna give you another road. I'll give you another road for 2 more wheat because you have to build another road here, and you can't do it with your current hand.
You would have worked it out. It's fine.
Or you can give it to me for 1 week.
No, you're giving 2. I'm giving you. You're extending the game, and you have a settlement spot open. Dog, come on. I'm just showing 6 points.
He's gonna win.
But if I don't do it, we lose next turn. So.
Okay, just lose. Just lose. Just lose then. No, it's for 2. Just lose. Got 3 seconds. Take it or you lose. Yeah. I'm getting you to fucking 9 points with a settlement spot.
So, let's say we have a gut feeling that we know a 10 is going to roll in the next turn, and red will not 7 out. This allows red to build 6 roads on their turn. Now, as blue, do you still take this trade? Go ahead and comment below, yes or no, and why. This is a fun yet tough quiz. The answer here is no. Now, in theory, red is at 6 roads, and if red drops 6 roads, they will take longest road and win the game. But here's the problem. Because Catan is a board game, you only have a certain amount of pieces. You can build a maximum of 4 cities, 5 settlements, and 15 roads. In this position, even though red will have 6 wood and 6 brick in hand, they cannot build 6 roads. Red already has committed 11 out of their 15 roads. Red only has 4 roads left. Red can only drop a road here, 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 and here. And then red is out of roads. Red's max road length can only be 10 roads. So, as blue, longest road is already locked for you. Blue will be at a forever 9 points. Now, let's change the scenario. Let's say red can't run out of roads. If that was the case, then as blue, do you take the trade and drop the last road? In this situation, yes, you do. As blue, when you drop that last road, it puts you at 11 roads. But the problem is that red is at 6 roads, and if they drop another 6 roads, in theory, red will overtake you at 12 roads, take longest road, and win the game. But here's where it falls apart. Red does not have enough space to win the longest road. Red can drop a road here, 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 and here. Then, red's maximum longest road length is capped. Therefore, as blue, as soon as you drop the 11th road, you lock the longest road, if red can build infinite roads. Red's maximum longest road length is now 11. So, the lesson here is, when fighting for longest road, keep in mind of 2 things. 1, how many roads you have left, and 2, what is your road space, and how does that affect your maximum road length? These 2 principles are essential in the endgame of Catan. Both Blue and I did not recognize this inside the game, and because of that, we ended up doing this useless trade for Blue.
You're too oppressive. I wish I had your skills.
No, dog, come on. I'll give you the 9 points. What are you smoking? Alright, it's okay. We can do this. We can do this, chat. We can do this, chat. 2 cities. That's why I had to push.
Shutting down my trades from the start.
That's why I had to push for that trade, chat.
Able to do the same to you.
This is why I had to push for the trade, because it brings me to 9 with any roll.
Now, I'm at 9 points. But red is still at 8 points with 11 cards. If they hit a good roll, they might just be able to win still. Now before I show you what happens next, I want to have a little heart-to-heart. Now for the past several months, I really haven't been happy with the quality of my videos. So for this video in particular, I'm going all out on quality and I hope it shows. Now, this is different in style and format compared to my last few videos. And I want your genuine feedback. Did you like the video or not? And if you did, press the like button. It helps me out on the YouTube algorithm a lot. If you didn't, dislike the video. Seriously. But I want to know why. And I want you to write that in the comments. I do read every single comment. So if you could do me a favor, like the video or dislike the video and tell me why, I would truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Back to the video.
Yeah, but a few good rolls and you win though.
Oh, we can pull for the win. We can pull for the win. It's not over. It's not over. This is a close game. I gotta, oh God. He wins with a 9. He wins with a 9. Since he's got 2 wood, 2 wheat in hand. Okay, I gotta pull for a VP on my turn. No 9, no 9, no 9, no 9. No 9.
So a 9 is gonna roll now.
Good luck.
You guys know that, right?
God. Oh, we can pull, chat.
God,
we can do this. Oh God, we can do this, chat. Good luck, us. Oh, we got 1 shot to pull for the win. We need a victory point inside the chat. It's at 4:39 p.m. Central Time on April 29th, 2021. DyLighted was losing, but he didn't give up. Red is pulling ahead. Blue had rolls to win, but he didn't give up. He traded and he hustled, because that's what you do when you're delighted. But what else we do? We f***ing win the game.
It was a VP.
Thank you guys.
You did make this one
I'm so mad. Like, if a 10 had rolled that last turn, I would have won regardless because I had 6 wheat. So,
The lines, I just needed one.
We take it down, boys!
So
Let's
close.
go!
that was really fun. Thank you.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Woo! That's how we take it down, boys! Alrighty.
Well, that was really fun. Take care.
Thank you so much, thank you. Who's next? Come on down, boys!